So it's time to look at sending some of our 360 VR clips over to After Effects. And the reason is to fix some problems that we can't do inside of Premiere Pro. You can see that some of these shots actually have the tripod. In fact, if I select this clip and then just go into VR mode of this fighter, we can see here there's a lovely tripod on the ground. And we probably don't want to show that in our end product. So this is one problem of why we'd want to potentially bring something over into After Effects, to use some of SkyBox's or Metal's SkyBox plugins inside of there. In fact, something called SkyBox Composer, which we're going to get into in just a second. Another reason is you can actually see here, my first clip is of a drone. And if we look very carefully, it needs to be stabilized. And for us to stabilize that, we'd be much better off to bring that also into After Effects using SkyBox Composer in order to perform a stabilization trick along with After Effects' built-in technology. So how do we send these clips over into After Effects? Well, there's just a very fluid system inside of Premiere that we can use. If I select a clip or a series of clips, all I have to do is select them and then just press File. I'm going to go to Adobe Dynamic Link and choose to replace this with an After Effects composition. Once I do, a few things are going to happen. After Effects is going to open in the background, and I'm going to be triggered to create a new project, an After Effects project. After Effects projects contain compositions, which are kind of like the equivalent of sequences. So you can see there, After Effects is launched, and here is the option for the untitled project. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'll call this Send from PR for Premiere. Once I choose to save this, in After Effects, a few things happened. You can see here, here's the actual MP4 file that I sent over, the clip, which is, as you can see, it's entitled Easy Tripod Paint, and that's been placed into a composition, right? And inside that composition, we can see the clip where we need to paint out the tripod. Now, if we go back to Premiere, in fact, I'll just click on here to go back, you'll see, if I zoom in here on my timeline, let me press Shift-3 to select it, and press the equal key to zoom in, your clip has been replaced with an After Effects project/composition. And also, you can see here that it needs to be rendered out. So it's dynamically linked. One of the cool things about this is any change that I do inside of After Effects, even without saving, will be updated in my Premiere Pro timeline. That's not to say that you're going to get a very speedy process here, but that is indeed the workflow. Now, notice one of the problems that occurred. In fact, there was a transition here, just in between these two clips, and that transition has in fact disappeared. So this is something that you need to note, that if I send something over, the transition does not carry over into After Effects. After Effects doesn't have the equivalent of the transitions that we just used. So that is a problematic thing that might happen and just change the way that you work. You'll notice as well, as while this clip had handles, what is sent over is just your decision in the timeline. So you need to prepare for this, in fact, of this round trip workflow. Now, in the next movie, we're going to pick up and start to use SkyBox Composer to get rid of that tripod.